Hello everybody, welcome to the answers for Daily Dictation 220. If today is your first daily dictation, you do not have to go back to the beginning. You can start today. DD 220 was about Valentine's Day. Did you see the original video? Did you do the dictation? Be sure to click on these buttons or down below in the description, do the dictation, and then I'll give you the answers. And now it's time for the answers. Ooh, it's a long one. I'll read it first. After a while, the emperor issued a verdict. Valentine was asked to agree with the emperor about the ban on marriage, thus giving up his religion. Valentine refused. Just before his execution, Valentine asked for a pen and paper and signed a farewell message to his lover, "From your Valentine," a phrase that lived ever after. So, it's pretty long, and there are some tricky words. Let's go back to the beginning. After a while. So there's a period of time where, well, Valentine, Bishop Valentine, was in a prison. So he was in prison, and after a while, after a couple weeks, after a few months, then what happened? After a while, the emperor issued a verdict. The emperor issued a verdict. We'll make it simple. The emperor made a basically decision. The emperor made a decision. The emperor told everybody his opinion. He made a conclusion. He thought about it. Should men be allowed to marry? Yes or no? So after a while, the emperor issued a verdict, made a decision. What is the decision? The decision was no marriage, and Valentine must agree. Valentine was asked to agree with the emperor. Agree about what? No marriage. Marriage will be illegal during war. During war, no marriage. Valentine, do you agree? Valentine was asked to agree with the emperor about the ban on marriage. The ban on marriage. Thus, if Valentine agreed, then Valentine would be giving up his religion. He is a priest. One of his jobs is to marry people so they can have children and build the church family. But the emperor said, no marriage. Do you agree? Valentine is like, but I can't agree. I'm a priest. My job is to create marriage. I must marry people. So did Valentine agree? Valentine refused. Valentine said, sorry, Emperor, I cannot agree. My promise is to the Catholic Church, and I must marry people. So was the emperor happy? No, the emperor was really mad. The emperor said, then you must die. In this case, we say execution. Just before his execution, just before Valentine's execution. Execution, there are many ways of execution. They can cut the head off, they can hang the person, shoot, poison, many burn. Yeah, there are many ways of execution. Just before his execution, Valentine asked for a pen and paper. Excuse me, Before you execute me, please bring me a pen and paper. And he received the pen and paper, and he wrote a letter and signed a farewell message, a farewell letter, a goodbye letter. Farewell, farewell, so long, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. Is that how we say the song? Maybe. I like that. Say it with me. Farewell, so long, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. Sorry. I think it's from The Sound of Music. Anyway, signed a farewell message to who? To who? To the emperor? No, to his lover. Now, I don't like this word, to his lover. She wasn't actually his lover, but he did have feelings for her, and she had feelings for him. He was in prison. They didn't do anything, but they did develop feelings for each other, okay? So he wrote a letter to her, to his lover, to a woman very special to him, a farewell message, and he signed the message, from your Valentine. From your Valentine. It's a sad story. But this phrase, from your Valentine, a phrase that lived ever after. A phrase that lived ever since. And we can use the word, does this come out here? Since, yes. Ever since. Ever since this time, ever since that letter, the phrase, from your Valentine, continues to be used. Continues to exist. Valentine's Day was last week. It was it Friday? Thursday? I think it was Thursday. It was the 14th of February. Most Americans don't know that it comes from a religious background. Most Americans don't know about this sad story. It's a day for love, especially between boyfriends and girlfriends. And it should be between husbands and wives, too. So, some people out there don't celebrate Valentine's Day. However, you can still celebrate your friendship and your love with your best friend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, with whoever. So, pick a day. Any day. It doesn't have to be the birthday. It doesn't have to be your anniversary. It could be February 14th or March 14th or whenever. Pick a day, make it special, and celebrate your friendship. Celebrate your love with that person. Those are the answers. Let's read it together 2 times. Here we go. After a while, the emperor issued a verdict. Valentine was asked to agree with the emperor about the ban on marriage, thus giving up his religion. Valentine refused. Just before his execution, Valentine asked for a pen and paper and signed a farewell message to his lover. From your Valentine. A phrase that lived ever after. After a while, the emperor issued a verdict. Valentine was asked to agree with the emperor about the ban on marriage, thus giving up his religion. Valentine refused. Just before his execution, Valentine asked for a pen and paper and signed a farewell message to his lover. From your Valentine. A phrase that lived ever after. Wow, that's difficult. Saying it quickly is difficult. Let me show you some pronunciation tips. I'll use the red marker. After a while, the emperor issued a, all connecting, the emperor issued a verdict. Valentine was asked to. Valentine was asked to agree, asked to agree, asked to agree, agree with the emperor. Valentine was asked to agree with the emperor. Valentine was asked to agree with the emperor about the ban on marriage, about the ban on marriage, about the ban on marriage. Thus giving up his religion. Thus giving up his religion. Thus giving up his religion. Valentine refused. Valentine refused. Just before his execution, Valentine asked for a pen and paper. A pen and paper. Valentine asked for a pen and paper. Valentine asked for a pen and paper. And signed a farewell message to his lover. To his lover. To his lover. From your Valentine. A phrase that lived ever after. A phrase that lived ever after. A phrase that lived ever after. So it's a little bit difficult. You need to practice. You need to practice a lot, okay? Practice your pronunciation, repeat with me, and then your listening will open up. And once your listening is good and your comprehension is good, then you can start speaking like a native speaker. But it takes time, it takes practice. I hope that you come back to the next lesson. The next lesson also not too difficult, but a bit long. Do the dictation, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.